Hey YouTube, it is Chris Dyer with the Martial Alchemy channel, and we are on part 10 of the theory of French boxing. Let's take a look. All right, let's start with lesson number 36. So these techniques that we're going to be filming today are all counter grabs. So for whatever reason, we're in our kickboxing mode. We're kickboxing each other. Mike is going to grab around my collar. So he's going to grab like to the back of my neck, and he's getting ready to pummel me or whatever it happens to be. So in this, let go of me. There you go. And that's it. That's the technique. You just say let go and you walk away from them. Now, in this one, I'm going to step one leg back. I'm going to take both my arms and wrap them around Mike's neck. So he grabs onto me. I'm going to do the same thing. I want to come over top of his arm like so. I'm going to grab into his neck. I'm going to make sure that he can't punch me along the way. I'm going to grab into this position. So the techniques we've done so far work really well for just like, sparring, kickboxing, this sort of thing, good training stuff. Mike and I were talking earlier, this one goes from 0 to felony pretty quick. So we're gonna go in this position. Mike grabs out my neck. I'm gonna trap into this position. I'm gonna drop one leg back, drop down a little bit, and wind my forehead up, get it good and ready, and boom! I'm gonna just take Mike's jaw off. You're bashing your forehead into his chin, trying to knock him out. If he's still not there, there's other positions you can do, dropping down and driving the head up and into the chin in this direction. I'm obviously not going to do this to Mike super fast. Human skull, I think they did some study and it's like 1,000 pounds of pressure for an instant, so you can go to town on a person. You're obviously going to be hurting afterwards, but to help get out of really dangerous situation, 100% this type of technique works. So in this case, he grabs around the neck. I want to come over top of the arm. The over the top of the arm helps pull him forward. So as I step back, notice Mike's face coming forward, and I bring my forehead down into this position, which is going to jolt him into the base of my skull, or not the base of my skull, into my forehead as he's coming into this position. Something that's really challenging to practice one-on-one live with a partner. Bob is actually really great for this. You can grab onto the back of the head, practice that step back and smash in. You can do this on a heavy bag. Obviously doing this to partners is a little dangerous. So we'll move on from there. Hi, this is Chris Dyer with the Martial Alchemy channel, and if you're enjoying this content, we have some great news. We now have a video for sale. The link is in the description below. It is titled The Old School Boxing Method of Self-Defense, and it's a compilation of our favorite techniques from our popular series, Old School Boxing. A link is in the description below. Now back to the content. All right, number 37. So this one is if the person tries to grab around your arms. So, Mike just asked the question, why in the world would I want to do that? If we're boxing, whatever, why wrap around my arms, right? So he's obviously trying to get a grip, elevate, you can take my legs out and all this fun type of stuff. So the first part of this is to drop your body weight. You want to tuck your chin just in case you don't want to get bashed around. We're going to go super slow, and let's try and not knock the mic. So he wraps around. I'm going to drop my body weight in, and I want to turn my shoulders in this position. If he gets a good grip, go ahead and get a good grip. Or here, I drop my body weight and I try and turn. Did it break? I can't tell. Did it break your grip? Not sure. It did. Okay. So as we do this, when I drop the body weight and I turn into it, chances are it will break the grip. If it doesn't break the grip, the next part of this, so it's a two-parter. So here, if it doesn't break it, I'm supposed to drop, turn, create some space, and there we go. We're going to go super slow with this again. He starts trying to grip again. I'm going to come over top, and we're going to take the hands, bring them together, Captain Kirk style, bash down, and there's my head again, smashing into this position. So as he's coming for this grip, I come over the top, link the hands, bash it down, boom, and drive the head back into this position. Again, another really nasty technique, smash and bash as we do this one. Let's move on to number 38, another interesting technique. All right, so we're on number 38. This is for smaller people. If they does another grab. So the manual doesn't have any imagery for this. We're going off of the assumption that it's like a double arm grab, which actually makes it really interesting. Like we were just exploring this. If I get my arms really pinned, I'm gonna have a hard time pulling some of this off and getting the arms up. So you do wanna kind of drop down. So if my grip's on and I drop down underneath, I do have a lot more play with my arms as I do this, so that's one thing to consider. All right, let's actually switch positions so they can see. So he's going to put his right foot forward, he's going to wrap around me. I want to focus on this technique of stepping my right foot around. Three things need to happen all at once. My left foot needs to step around his right foot. My right hand needs to grab to the back of his, your right leg?
Right knee.
Right knee, thank you. And then this hand is going to go across the chin. So as he grips me, boom, I step behind, I grip, and I put the hand up here, and I start pulling and pushing. Now, in reality, it doesn't matter which leg he has forward. As long as I step between his legs, go ahead and grip up. We're here. He's got this foot forward. I step here and go. And I push, pull. So I use the legs, latch onto his leg, use my legs to lift. Don't ever try, go ahead and switch back so you can see. Leg forward, drop down to position. Go ahead and grip up. So here, dropping down, I slide my hand into position. If you just try and reach, you're never gonna grab it. You want to go ahead and wrap around, drop into position. We're here, catch, hand starts sliding up, and then I can go across Mike in this position. So I'm not using my arm to pull the leg. You drop, you grip, almost pinning it to your own leg, and then as you stand up, you'll press out this direction, and it works really, really well. You're using your legs to lift up one of his, pretty easy. All right, let's move on to number 39, against another choke. All right, number 39, we got some chokes to deal with. So Mike is gonna wrap around me. I'm gonna take my hands, I'm gonna bring them up. Now again, it doesn't quite work, especially if he gets a really good grip. So there are things like, again, we're not sure what the intention is. The manual doesn't exactly say what he's gripping. He just says double, he grabs onto you. So it could be a single arm hold. It could be lots of different things. So we're going to go back to the grip around the body, assuming he's about to lift you and throw you. But again, if you come up with other ways that they could probably grip you that this would make sense, post a comment below. We're just kind of going off the same basic idea so that you guys can see what the manual is saying exactly. But again, it doesn't make it really clear what he's gripping. So we're going to make this work. So as Mike grips, again, I want to step back, creating some space, drive my shoulder in, which is going to free up some space. And I now have some wiggle room. In this case, I want my hands to come around or up and under, depending on the situation. In this case, I'm going to come up and under, or come over top even. This is even better. So Mike grips on, and I'm going to just take the hands, I'm going to put them in here, take the thumbs, go into the neck, and I just squeeze. Mike instantly doesn't like this. So we're taking our thumbs, we're driving into the neck, and we're squeezing off air. Depending on where you grip, you'll do a blood choke, air choke, probably both, and you just start squeezing in. Now, there's a surefire, again, you can practice this on Bob, surefire way of doing this, so we'll go super slow. You grab to the base of the neck, you put your hands around like so palms in like you're seal clapping for a fish. You clap into the neck, and then your thumbs are on the outside. And this is my method of doing this. I just go into the jawline and start like massaging, going from the inside and pressing in. You can do this without having to spend too much like time working the muscle memory of where they need to go. You just go here, in, and just start squeezing back. So nice. And eventually it will slide, latch into place. So it's almost like you're, I don't know, like squeezing a balloon or something like this. And eventually your thumbs will slide right to where they need to be. And then it will be a very, very fast tap from there. Squeezing into your own hands. All right, we got one more technique and then we are finished with this manual. Let's take a look at it. All right, number 40 and the last and final technique. So Mike and I have a gentleman's agreement on this one. I'm not going to do the full technique because again, I don't want to break Mike. We need him. All right, so he goes for a grip, he gets onto me, he's about to do a throw, whatever it happens to be. I've managed to completely mess this up all along. The way I've never got my head in there, I didn't strike him, I didn't do any of the things I'm supposed to do, and now I go down and I go boom. All right, so I want to try and reverse this to my advantage as best as possible. So he starts moving in to do whatever grip he's going to do. I need to get his chin. Now, Mike is fighting me along the way, so I don't get to control, if you could please take me down this direction or whatever. Your focus is to get one hand on his chin and the other hand behind his head. Now it says grab onto the ear. I'm not a fan of the ear thing because it's really easy to slide off ears. So I want to grab to the base of his skull. I am going to take one thumb, point it away from the rest of the hand, and then dig everything in. So I'm really focusing on this pincher grip going this direction. I actually train a lot of grip strength exercises. So hanging from like rock climb holds, doing wide grip things like fat grip exercises. So I have a pretty strong grip because I like doing grippy type of things. So I want to grip into this position, kind of like he's a bad dog, grab to the back of the neck, dig the thumb in, and then hand's going to go to the chin. Now as I'm falling, I'm manipulating Mike's structure. We're going to go super slow with this. So he starts doing takedown on me, and as I start falling, I'm going to actually manipulate his structure. The goal is, as I fall, I want to roll with this. So I'm not necessarily taking my hands and twisting. I'm locked into place, and as I fall, I want to try and roll. And the idea is that I'm going to come to either like side mount, full mount, something like that. Is as he falls down, I'm trying to manipulate where he falls and then get my body to land in more advantageous position. So if I'm doing this slow-mo into the air, I would roll. We should be able to cover this. You guys will be able to see as I roll. I start falling down this direction, and I'll do it this direction. So, Mike, if you would, step out the way. We're here. I grit the chin. I got Mike's theoretical chin here. I got his head this direction. As I fall down on the ground, and now I have a chance to come down to side mount or whatever it happens to be from this position. So that was lesson number 40 from the French theory of boxing. So that covers all of the lessons in this manual, and so far, we're not so far, but in all, I think it's a pretty good manual. The text in English is what we decided is kind of like a direct translation, like this word directly translates to this, as opposed to getting the essence of the technique. So we had to do a lot of work to try and figure out exactly the true meaning behind the text in English. But the techniques are 100% valid. There are some weird things. There's some stuff that was lacking. I would like to see more pictures, but it's for the manual of this time. Given the information, great manual. The techniques are all still 100% valid. There's some little changes that needed to be made based on context if you're doing it for sport, for self-defense. But overall, this manual, 2 thumbs up. Absolutely love this. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all this fun stuff to help the channel out if you're enjoying this. And we will see you guys next time.